welcome to the Cage Nation. Welcome to the Cage Nation. Welcome to the Cage Nation. No one can drop us, no one can stop us. We are the warriors, no one can top us, no one can rock us. We are the warriors, no one can drop us, no one can stop us. We are the warriors, no one can top us, no one can rock us. We are the warriors.
I love that clip.
That clip is unbelievable. It is the kick heard round the burg.
Seeing Dominic Mazzata head kick Jeremiah Yeager like that reminds me of the first time that I watched Mirko Cro Cop score a high kick like that. It was, you don't forget a knockout finish like that.
No, you don't.
No. And great job to Dom. He's in the main event of Gladiators of the Cage, North Shore's Rise to Power 3. We're telling you everything you need to know about that card this week, Drew.
And that, of course, came from the last North Shore's Rise to Power dose. We're talking Trace this week. Drew Shannon, Albert Cameron for Cage Nation TV. And yes, this is the special countdown episode to Gladiators of the Cage, North Shore's Rise to Power 3. Again, broadcasting from the Quick Rock Studios here in State College, 315 South Atherton Street.
A big thank you to Michael and Diana Stapleford, who's, I think they're just salt of the earth.
And you know what? We love this building so much that we didn't bother changing our clothes for a week. That's how we just figured we'd broadcast in the same clothes as we did last week.
I actually did laundry. I'm not fooling anybody.
All right.
Let's just be honest.
Moving on.
All right.
Coming up, we're going to take a look at the newsreel. We are going to take a look at the breakdown of the card. We've got a special interview with Dominic the Honey Badger Mazzata, who is in the main event against Jordan Espinoza.
He's fighting Jordan Espinoza. Dominic Mazzata is such an entertaining person to talk to. That you don't want to miss this interview. He's offered some great insights, some I think some in-depth looks into what makes the Honey Badger the Honey Badger.
Right.
It was great. You guys don't want to miss it. Coming up next, we got the newsreel, and then we're going to tell you about some highlights of the card that you're going to want to go out and get your tickets now.
Stay tuned. Don't miss an ounce of this episode as we count down, as we run down the card. Run down?
Never run down. We're counting it down.
As we count down to the Gladiators of the Cage, North Shore's Rise to Power 3. It's coming up next, Cage Nation TV.
It's time for another edition of Cage Nation TV Newsreel, spanning the globe to bring you the latest news in MMA.
Well, Shane Del Rosario is still fighting. The medical drama of the UFC heavyweight Shane Del Rosario has been ongoing and ever-changing. The heavyweight fighter was found unconscious by teammates and immediately placed on life support. At one stage, Del Rosario was removed from life support and declared dead. Family elected for an extremely progressive and experimental procedure that essentially jump-started Del Rosario's basic life functions. Since the procedure, Shane has registered brain activity after a time of registering none and has squeezed his mother's hand. All of us at the Cage Nation are pulling for and asking for positive thoughts for Shane Del Rosario. We'll play that funky music, Ben Askren. We've been following the Ben Askren situation closely here at Cage Nation TV. We'd reported that Funky Ben Askren had been released from Bellator as the reigning welterweight champion. Askren went on to provoke Twitter arguments with UFC fighters and irking the ire and displeasure of UFC President Dana White. Well, it's been a big couple of days for Ben Askren, as it's reported that he has switched camps and joined the Evolve Fight Team, Asia's #1 fight team, and he'll be teammates with Shinya Aoki. In addition to that news, Askren is also reportedly in talks to sign with ONE FC, Japan's up-and-coming fight league. Could the days of fighters and fighting in greener pastures of Japan coming back? Wait and see. Ultimate Fighter alumnus Luke Kumo is wanted by New York police. Luke Kumo, welterweight finalist on Season 2 of The Ultimate Fighter, is wanted by New York police for allegedly sending his ex-wife threatening emails. Kumo has reportedly missed court dates and had custody of his children revoked. The former UFC welterweight had a bench warrant issued from his arrest and then went into hiding. Well, what's the next logical step for someone trying to keep a low profile? Well, posting videos on YouTube, of course. Via his YouTube channel, Kumo is openly denying the claims of sending his ex the emails and says that she is threatened by his YouTube video vlogs. We hope this situation works itself out for the kid's sake.
Saturday, December 7th at Stage AE. Epic Leap Entertainment presents Gladiators of the Cage, the North Shore's Rise to Power 3. We are invading Pittsburgh with some of the greatest mixed martial arts action seen in the tri-state area. Full contact, pitting athlete against athlete. using combat techniques and styles to take each other down. You won't want to miss this. Doors open at 6, bell rings at 7. Tickets available at all Ticketmaster locations.
Welcome back to this special edition of Cage Nation TV. We have a lot of special editions. It's been a busy month.
It was a busy July getting in the mix with Gladiators of the Cage. Of course, it's been a busy late fall. I said late fall.
Early winter.
Early winter didn't start
Late.
until the 21st.
Shut up. It's late fall. All right.
Late fall.
Whatever.
Okay.
It's cold out.
Still, great fights.
Freezing my giblets off.
It's got giblets.
From the turkey that I ate this past
How was
Thursday.
your Thanksgiving?
It was great. Spent some time with the folks in Warren, PA. Got to shoot out and see some good friends of mine in Watertown, New York. Tim Sweeney, Melissa Ouellette, and a whole host of others. The staff over at 92.5 in Watertown, New York, Tunes 92.5, which is a sister station of this station right here.
I'll tell you what I'm thankful for. I'm actually thankful for the opportunity to come to you guys every week. I'm thankful for everyone who has contributes to the positivity, and especially you, big guy.
You didn't ask what I was thankful for.
What are you thankful for?
I'm thankful for the fact that I get to do a show with one of my best friends. I am thankful for my family. I am thankful for my daughter, and I am thankful that I get to work in this building every single day. And I'm not just ass-kissing to the people that let us film here tonight. I love this job with all of my heart, and yeah, that's what I'm thankful for.
They're good peoples.
Plus I'm thankful for turkey and the dressing and shit like that.
December 7th, Stage AE.
We'll bleep that out. Go ahead.
What did you say? Did you say and?
Yeah.
You potty mouth.
All right.
Okay,
Well, anyways,
December,
let's move on.
December 7th, probably one of my best venues to see a fight at, Stage AE.
Oh, that's what we're thankful for.
That is
Stage AE and Gladiators of the Cage.
Let's be laid all on the table. We've been to.
And I won't swear, I promise.
Thank you. We've been to the Blair County Convention Center.
Yes.
That's where we did the bulk of our work.
Mm-hmm.
You've been to the Johnstown War Memorial.
I've been to the Johnstown. I've been to every single CDMMA card. Blair County Convention Center, Johnstown War Memorial,
Expo 1 building in Clearfield, Pennsylvania. Which,
yes.
I mean, I grew up in Clearfield County. That was a big deal for me. But then we added the Jaffa Moss to that. And
right.
now, then we got to add Stage AE. And
well, where was WCC6 held?
the Kirk S. Arena.
Okay, WCC6 was at the Kirk. Yes, it was Kirk S.
Arena.
Yes.
Of all those, and then the Jaffa Moss, of all those events, I think I liked Stage AE. That was just one of my favorites.
Oh, that's right, because you weren't at the last Gladiators of the Cage.
No, I wasn't.
That was at the
indoor soccer.
Indoor soccer arena. That was Mike Kessling.
Yes.
Do we have to bring him back for?
Yes, we do. I lost a bet to him. We all have to deal with it. I'm sorry. Stage AE. Okay, it's just a great event for fights. It's right near Heinz Stadium.
Yeah.
The North Shore part of Pittsburgh.
It's right downtown. I mean, need I say more?
Right.
That is where the hustle and the bustle, and that is the action people in the Steel City.
Last time we were at Stage AE, the four of us got to talk outside to Jamie Chesney, a very dangerous woman. But I mean, like that, dangerous, but she's really nice to talk to.
She's fantastic to talk to outside after the event.
Yeah.
She was dressed to the nines too. I want to know where she was going, because wherever she was going, I wanted to be. Not that I've got a chance in hell, but
you know, like the point of that was, Stage AE is just a great venue. It's got a great vibe. It was an excellent venue for fights.
Yes.
I mean, I was absolutely blown away. I mean, between the balcony levels, the floor levels, the bleacher levels. I mean, that building, while built for concerts, was just really conducive to fights.
It was great.
So, Mike Hasseling's actually going to tell us more about the Stage AE venue once we get there.
Yeah, he's going to do a behind-the-scenes look. We've got all that planned out for our coverage at the event. We don't want to give too much away.
No. So what him and I are going to do right now is we're going to tell you about the fights now. I'm going to put an asterisk on this card is subject to change, as it's always.
Yes.
And then there's a lot of fights that we just aren't able to cover with time constraints. So we're gonna tell you the ones that really jump out at us. We're not disrespecting any fighter in any way. It's just that we're not as familiar as what we'd like to be, and there was a lot of fights that really just kind of jumped out and grabbed us. So if you get a chance to head out to Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh's a great fight city. City of champions, I'm told.
That it is.
Okay.
Bruno Sammartino, for crying out loud.
All right. So We got some great fights, so let's just take it from the top. Drew, what do we got?
Courtney Kern, a name that we are familiar with from Complete Devastation MMA. She's going to be taking on Melissa Gazdick, whom I met at the last Gladiators of the Cage event, the Road to Glory. Was that Road to Glory 5?
Yes.
And she's going to be making her debut for Gladiators of the Cage on December 7th. She's got an excellent amateur kickboxing pedigree.
Courtney Kern does.
Courtney Kern does.
Courtney Kern is an excellent amateur kickboxer.
Yes.
Her fight with Maggie O'Neill, whenever I break the news to people for the first time that I do fight announcing sometimes, that's the fight I show them. I show them Kern versus O'Neill, like that third and final round.
Right.
And that third and final round doesn't do the entire fight justice. Those two ladies were just throwing heavy strikes at each other.
Right.
I mean, they were completely content to stand up and bang. One, because Courtney Kern's a kickboxer. Two, because Maggie O'Neill trained out of Damage Inc. in Johnstown, and I mean, let's be honest, that's where thugs go to become more dangerous.
Right.
And that fight was just excellent because neither lady would go down. Courtney Kern didn't win that fight, but I mean, there certainly wasn't a loser out of that fight either. I mean, there wasn't someone who, decisively got their ass kicked.
Right.
I mean, it was just a good fight, and there had to be a loser sometime. So, in Pennsylvania, we do the two things incredibly well, Drew. Debuting amateurs. Pennsylvania does great with debuting amateurs. And we do women's MMA like nobody's business.
Right.
I mean, that's just, if we're going to claim to fame anything in MMA, I mean, it's Dana White loving Pennsylvania State Athletic Commission's amateurs and women's MMA.
I'm going to squeeze this in here as well. Did Maggie O'Neill just have a baby?
Maggie O'Neill just had a baby. Congratulations, Maggie, and everyone at Damage Inc. I believe her husband's name is Troy.
I believe so.
They just had a baby 2 days before Complete Devastation MMA 9. So we're hoping mom and baby are doing very, very well, and well wishes to all of us from the Cage Nation.
Well wishes indeed. All right. It's the same guy from last week with a muffler problem.
He needs the Midas
I'm
touch.
telling you what, he needs something.
Okay.
Zach Schultz taking on Travis List. This is a title fight with Travis List as the defending champion.
Okay. Road to Glory 5. Travis List beats Sean Downs. I'm a big fan of Sean Downs.
Right.
You and I called Sean Downs' first fight for the WCC. We're like, man, that kid is going places. After that fight, he racked up 3 other victories, including WCC 6, where he beat Sean Deal for the WCC Amateur Lightweight Championship under advanced amateur rules. So going into that fight, I was a huge fan of Sean Downs.
Right.
I still am. I think the kid's got moxie.
Right.
Okay. Travis List, I didn't know as much about Travis List, but he beat Sean Downs. So clearly the guy's got something behind. Got great skill. So Travis List won the Gladiators of the Cage Amateur Lightweight Championship. He's going to defend it against Zach Schultz. Big fan of Zach Schultz too. Zach Schultz was going to take on Lenny Karlheim at Complete Devastation MMA 8. He ends up getting in the title fight with Rich Catalina. Zach Schultz is an excellent ground fighter. So what's a ground fighter do whenever they want to start becoming more well-rounded? They get into the striking arts. Zach Schultz was in a kickboxing match against Central PA MMA's Dan O'Neill in a Muay Thai boxing match. So Zach Schultz has got a great, well-rounded combat sport experience.
Right.
Both guys are returning Gladiators of the Cage vets. Both guys are coming off of Gladiators of the Cage wins. And this is one of those fights where you look at it on paper, you're like, man, there's going to be fireworks. And seeing it on paper really doesn't even do it justice because you don't think a car accident is going to be as exciting to watch, not exciting, but as attractive to watch as it's happening. Like, you see a fender bender, you see two guys getting out and yelling at each other. Like, you stop and watch.
You want to explain that? Because I don't think a car accident is attractive to watch.
Maybe not attractive, but you can't really turn away from seeing it.
Right.
Like, there's this obvious thing that's happened. I mean, you're just kind of watching two guys are on the side of the road screaming at each other.
Okay.
Saying, my insurance agent's going to be up to one side of you and down the other. That's the same thing with a fight, essentially.
Okay.
You see two guys fighting in the parking lot, what are you going to do? You're going to stand and watch it.
Well, yeah.
Well, now we're in a controlled environment with the Pennsylvania State Athletic Commission making it fair. So now it's not two thugs fighting, it's a legitimate sport. A very explosive, legitimate sport with two firecrackers going into that cage.
All right. Also on the card, Shane Valco taking on Brandon Wheeler, 2 exceptional fighters making their pro debuts.
We saw Shane Valco fight in Altoona, and it was a blowout. Like, Shane Valco just apparently wasn't getting paid by the hour, completely decimated his opponent.
Fought like he was double parked.
Fought like he was double parked. So now Shane Valco and Brandon Wheeler are making their pro debuts. Well, we got two guys who are monster amateurs. I mean, there's really monster amateurs. Their records really speak for themselves. And not just records like, oh, we got a W in the column. It's how they won. It was decisive measure of victory.
Right.
So, like, they're finishing fights. And, you know, coming from a Pennsylvania amateur background, and as they're debuting pros, they have that same hunger. They got to prove something. So, this is another fight, even though it's 2 debuting pros. Shane Velko is an absolute beast. Same thing with Brandon Wheeler. I think it's going to be a great fight to be watching.
All right. Jason the Whip Willett, our good friend the Whip, taking on Steve Smith. Both guys, they've got a 500 record. Unless the fight wins in a draw, someone's walking away with a brand new winning record.
Absolutely. We saw my first opportunity watching Jason Willett fight was against Tyler the Country Boy Updike in Altoona. And the thing about Jason Willett is he has his frenetic style, but it's not just chaos. Like he's wild. He goes in there, he throws, he's frenetic, but it's controlled.
Right. So
he's got this wild, better to burn out than to fade away style, but it's like laser focus. And that's what makes Jason Willett exciting to watch. Now, what makes this fight interesting is the last time we saw Steve Smith fight was at Gladiators of the Cage Road to Glory 5, whenever Steve Smith got the victory over Willett's Fractured City Gear teammate, Charlie the Madman Gathers.
Okay.
So, there's just a lot of drama in that fight. One, both these guys have a 5-run record. Both of them want to go to a winning record, but only one man leaves with a winning record.
Now, speaking of Charlie Gathers,
yes.
Was he supposed to be on this card or not?
I don't believe so.
For some reason, I thought he was supposed to be. Maybe I was getting it mixed up with Road to Glory 5.
I know he was trying to get a fight in December, and they were trying to do what they can, but I don't think at any point did I see Chuck on the card.
Okay. Moving on. 2-time champion. He's got 2 belts in Gladiators of the Cage. Chris Dempsey taking on Sean Asher. Dempsey, a multi-divisional champion, holding the middleweight and light heavyweight championship for Gladiators of the Cage. And a good friend of ours.
Yes! Here's the thing about Chris Dempsey. Chris Dempsey was going to fight Louis Rumsey at North Shores Rise to Power 2.
Right.
Rumsey could not make middleweight. So what does Chris Dempsey do? Fine, I'll fight a light heavyweight. Beats Rumsey, a Bellator veteran, for the light heavyweight championship. His next fight, I'm going to fight Tendy Dixon at middleweight. He wins the championship. So we always talk about in the UFC, well, what if one guy was at lightweight and he dropped down to featherweight and held championships in both at the same time?
Right.
Well, we don't have to wonder about that in Gladiators of the Cage because Chris Dempsey is our man. He's the guy who did it. Now, here's the thing that scares me about Sean Asher.
Okay.
Sean Asher's wins have all come from tap out due to strikes. What that says is Sean Asher will actually beat the fight out of the man.
So he's a dangerous cat.
Well, it's a style. I mean, tap out due to strikes. I mean, the guy's getting hit on, like he's getting beat on. He's not knocked out. I mean, but he's just had enough. So you punch someone to the point where they're like, okay, I'm done. I'm out. Now, Chris Dempsey does something very, very well. He pushes the pace of the fight and he controls the rhythm. No matter what fight he's been in, he's controlled the pace and the rhythm. Someone described Peyton Manning, I believe, as someone who is content killing you with 1,000 cuts. And I think that accurately describes Chris Dempsey.
Okay.
He's fine picking his shots, implementing a strategy over all 3 rounds, as opposed to looking for a big finish right away. So Chris Dempsey knows rhythm. He knows how to push the pace of the fight. This is one of those fights where we got Sean Asher, who's clearly coming in to just completely go beast mode. We got Chris Dempsey, who's fine killing someone with 1,000 cuts. We have the makings of a great contest.
And I can't remember if you mentioned this or not, Sean Asher, Bellator veteran.
Yes, Sean Asher is a Bellator veteran. So that doesn't bother Chris Dempsey.
No, it doesn't.
Bellator veteran or not, I mean, he's been there, he's done that, he has no problem scoring the W there. I almost tripped and fell, you almost had to watch that. Chris Dempsey has no...
You break the studio, then I get in trouble, so...
So win-win?
No, it's not a win-win.
Chris Dempsey has no problem doing what he needs to do to win a fight.
All right, so next up, the co-main event, which was just announced last week as the co-main event. Brett Showtime Schoenfeld.
What time is it?
It's Showtime versus Zach Goebel. Showtime recently winning gold at Complete Devastation MMA 9.
Which the promoters of Gladiators of the Cage were there to watch.
Yeah, they got to see it.
They came down to Altoona.
They said that he was going to be on the card, and then they announced last week. Rich Miller, in fact, I think he texted both of us. Saying that Schoenfeld was now the co-main event.
Yeah.
So see, it is so. That's the perks of knowing people in the business, especially with fights that we're going to. Is we get all the breaking news.
Oh, absolutely.
Love it.
Brett Schoenfeld is such a natural entertainer. Yeah, we said last week the guy can finish a fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's also dynamic and entertaining to watch, which makes Brett Schoenfeld the total package.
Right.
Brett Schoenfeld won the title against a guy who had over 10 times the fights Brett did.
Right.
On his confirmed record. Ted Worthington said he's had over 110 fights.
Well, that's
75 on his record.
Right. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm just going by the record because
we can't validate it.
We can't validate the other fights. We don't know where they took place or who they took place with or where, what organization. So we're just going to go with the 75.
Albert Cameron does what Albert Cameron does best. He looks into the fights. He looks at records.
Look at you go. Look at
me. Look at me. Brett Schoenfeld is a natural welterweight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Zach Goebel is a natural middleweight.
Right.
Now, there was a fight on Zach Goebel's record that really kind of stood out to me and made me go, He actually went up to light heavyweight and beat O.J. Vickers.
Ooh.
You remember O.J. Vickers?
I remember O.J. Vickers.
O.J. Vickers actually got tired of cutting weight. I'm saying he couldn't cut weight, but he had a heavyweight fight against Clark Young at North Shores Rise to Power 2.
Yes.
Clark Young is not a tiny man.
No, he's not.
O.J. Vickers is not a tiny man.
No, he's not.
No, he's not. So for Zach Goebel to go to light heavyweight to fight a guy as built as O.J. Vickers is absolutely astounding.
Mm-hmm.
So now
Exactly.
Zach Goebel, who's a natural middleweight, who can hang at light heavyweight, is coming down to welterweight to fight Brett Showtime Schoenfeld. That is that dramatic tension that just, it's a nail biter. I mean, Brett has fought some really top tier talent, but I can't say he's ever fought anyone as naturally big as what Zach Goebel is.
It's going to be an excellent fight, and I can't wait to see it. And then, of course, in our main event, Dominic the Honey Badger Mazzata taking on Jordan Espinoza. As we alluded to in the beginning, we're going to be talking to the Honey Badger coming up in just a little bit.
He don't care.
Well, I think he does care.
He does not give poop.
A little bit. Mazzata, of course, scored the knockout of the night with a head kick on Jeremiah Yeager at the last North Shores Rise to Power for Gladiators of the Cage at Stage AE. Dom undefeated in pro competition as well.
Gladiators of the Cage, North Shore Rise to Power 2 was on Root Sports.
Mm-hmm.
I come home, I got it on. Dom's fight versus Jeremiah Yeager comes on. I drag Mrs. Cameron out of the kitchen. I'm like, no, you gotta watch this.
I think even before it hit Root Sports, the fight hit YouTube.
It was like the next hour.
Right. His fans, his camp released the fight on YouTube, and if you saw that via Cage Nation TV, you know what we're talking about. If you saw it on Root Sports, you know what we're talking about. But if you don't know what we're talking about, oh my God.
So I dragged Mrs. Cameron out of the kitchen. Mm-hmm. I'm like, honey, you got to see this. Now, being married to Albert Cameron means whether you want to or not,
you're gonna have to watch.
You're gonna get exposed to fight sports one way or another.
Right.
She sees Dom head kick this guy, and she's like, oh. There's something sick in my head, but I love that reaction from her.
You're a sick man.
I absolutely. It's a shock value. I just really enjoy seeing it. Now, Jordan Espinoza is no tomato can.
No.
Jordan Espinoza is a submission expert, a complete monster on the ground. Mm-hmm. His fights submissions left and right. You know, he's as soon as that fight hits the ground, it's now Jordan country. A couple other fighters who were like that. Zach Schultz is really good on the ground. Lenny Karlheim, of course, but then Jimmy Serra as well.
Right.
We called Jimmy Serra's fight at WCC 4. So Jordan Espinoza is certainly in there, but Dom's not disrespecting what Jordan's capable of, and we're gonna get all of that into the in the interview. Actually, you know what? Now's probably a good time to get into that.
All right, we're gonna get into the interview in just a few. That's just a few of the fights you're gonna see at North Shore's Rise to Power 3, Gladiators of the Cage, December 7th, Stage AE. Get your tickets now. This Saturday night, it is going to be an unbelievable night of fights, once again from Gladiators of the Cage, in one of the most awesome venues to watch a fight in, this side of Altoona. It is going to be great. Stage AE, I can't wait. We've got our interview with Dominic Mazzata coming up next on Cage Nation TV. Don't you go nowhere.
All right, ladies and gentlemen of the Cage Nation, we have a special occasion here for you. We are talking to one half of the main event at Gladiators of the Cage, North Shore's Rise to Power 3. I am talking about the one, the only, Dominic the Honey Badger Mazzata. Dom, how you doing?
Good. How you guys doing today?
We're doing great, Dom. Honey Badger, is it because you just don't care?
Yeah, I don't care. I just don't care. No, I don't. No, I care. I care about things. It's just, that's just the name that I got for my jiu-jitsu gym, so kind of stuck with me.
You're talking about all the guys at the Mat Factory.
Yeah, the Mat Factory.
The Mat Factory. The Mat Factory, the same gym, Drew, that brought us Chris Dempsey, who main evented at the last two Gladiators of the Cage. Dominic Mazzata trains out of that forge of just warriors.
And Dominic Mazzata is main eventing this Gladiators of the Cage as well.
Dom is one of two guys I can count that appeared at every North Shore's Rise to Power, the other one being Chris Dempsey. Is that accurate, Dom?
Yes, it is.
All right. Dom, you have 11 fights on your belt between amateur and pro, but this is your third pro fight. In those 3 pro fights, you're already main eventing. How does it feel to accomplish so much so fast in such a short time?
It feels good. I mean, like you said, I had 11 fights, so I kind of I kind of came in my pro career already with a following. So it wasn't like I just, all of a sudden people started coming to see me. I had my last amateur fight. I fought Wes Hansen for the NAAFS national title, and we had a great following then. And it kind of just rolled over for me. And that's what the promoters want. They want a guy that people are going to come and see, and that's who they want to put on at their main event. Even though I only have 2 fights and this is my 3rd fight, I think I'm well deserving as the main event.
I mean, when it comes down to entertaining fighters, Dom, I think you certainly got a charisma that's just made for Pittsburgh. And let's talk about what propelled you into that main event. Of course, I'm talking about Jeremiah Yeager being introduced to the side of your foot in a really hard way. Now, Dom, I watched that fight probably, Drew, what do you say, like probably 10 times?
At least.
Easily, just kind of demonstrating it.
Well, that's about 1/10 of the times I watched it. So,
well, Dom, we talked to you pre-fight at North Shore's Rise to Power 2, and we talked about you were from the Mat Factory, so you're comfortable on the ground. But you also said that you were also comfortable throwing head kicks, and that's exactly how you finished the fight, which really kind of blew us away. Now, as I'm watching this fight, I'm noticing you're kind of you're repositioning, you're changing, and then that head kick comes out of nowhere. Was that head kick like reactionary, Dom, or were you setting Jeremiah up for it?
Well, you know what, I didn't really know much about the kid. I don't like to watch film on my fighters. That's something that I don't do because I don't like to look for things in the fight, and I don't like to chase things when I'm fighting. So I like to get in there, see what kind of see it for myself, and make game time adjustments. And once I see something, then I know I can react. I can attack it. And it's kind of like I don't ever really game plan. We do a little bit of game planning, but I like to just look at it as I react. So yeah, it was something that I've seen. The only thing I really knew about him was he liked to switch his style up. From southpaw to orthodox. So I kind of just waited for him to switch back to orthodox, where I could throw my left kick. Cause I got a good right kick too, but my left switch kick is a kick that I kind of use. I've been in Taekwondo since I was 5 years old, and my martial arts instructor, my Taekwondo grandmaster now, he comes from a kickboxing background, so it's not a normal Taekwondo school. He taught guys and trained guys in the K1 organization in Japan, and trained in kickboxing. He was a world champion, and that's something that I just seen. And his hands were a little bit low. I think because he came up from the amateurs, he maybe wasn't used to keeping his hands higher. And I seen it, and I threw the switch kick. Thankfully, it landed perfectly and knocked him out.
All right, now that fight, Dom, and without a doubt, the most exciting finish of the evening, that was broadcast to hundreds of thousands of homes on Root TV, Root Sports. How did that change your perspective on your career and how you looked at the sport?
It really didn't change too much. I mean, yeah, a lot of people are coming. A lot more people are coming to this fight, and I mean, my ticket sales are skyrocketing right now, and I'm really, really blessed to have that and to be able to execute a technique that I've been doing for a long time in front of a stage that big, and to be on TV and for everybody to see it. You know, I mean, like I said, it was not new to me. I don't train any differently now. I didn't train any different. I train the same. I try to always up my game, but, you know, nothing's really changed. I mean, I'm still training. I train with different people all the time, but, you know, I mean, I'm still training with the same coaches and the same training partners. So, you know, really didn't really change much. It just made me a little bit more popular.
Fair enough. All right, Dom. We talked before. You got 11 fights in your career between your amateur and pro career. Now, of those 11 fights, I counted 3 that went out of the first round. Only 3. Now, the question is, Dom, do you train to stop fights out early, or is it just something that kind of naturally comes to the way you fight? I mean, because being involved in Taekwondo since age 5, clearly you know how to throw hands, but you're also training on the ground, but your fights just end very quickly. Is that intentional?
No, it's not intentional. I train for a 15-minute fight, so I expect to go in there and I expect to train and get to fight for 15 minutes and completely be exhausted at the end of the fight and drain my body. Thankfully, most of the time that doesn't happen, you know. But it's something like in the West Hampton fight, I knew I wasn't going to be able to finish that fight in the first round. You know, I knew it was going to be a longer fight. I would love to finish every fight in the first round in 47 seconds, but you know, I like the fact that I know in the back of my mind, if I have to take you down and grind you down, I don't want to do that, but if I have to, I will, and I can. That's a confidence thing right there. Being able just to have confidence that I can do anything. I can wrestle, I can submit you, I can get up if I'm taken down, and I can go for 15 minutes and be the fresher guy. And I'm confident, no matter who I fight, that I'm going to be the guy pushing the pace. I'm going to be the guy that's fresh at the end of the fight, whether it, you know, ends early or if it's a 3-round battle.
Hey everyone, it's Drew Shannon. This is my daughter Angelina.
Hi everybody.
We're here to tell you about a charity that is near and dear to our hearts. It is the Christmas Crusade for Kids. This is the 4th annual Christmas Crusade for Kids with 105.9 Quick Rock, News Talk 970 AM WBLF, and AM 1260 WPHB. We're teaming up with the Youth Service Bureau of Center County to provide Christmas to a lot of kids in our area. Last year, we helped over 540 kids have a Christmas that you would not believe, a Christmas that they would not have otherwise had. This year, our goal is to help 600 kids to have a brighter Christmas, and you can make that happen. Every hour on the air on 105.9 Quick Rock and on AM 1260 WPHB, and during Center County this morning from 6 to 9 a.m. with Jerry Fisher, we'll ask you, the listeners, to sponsor a child. This will go on through till December 18th. All you have to do is give us your name, address, phone number, and email. We'll submit that information to the Center County Youth Service Bureau. From there, they'll send you by email a tag that you'll place on the gift for your sponsored child. No need to wrap them. They'll take care of it there. They'll also send you a letter stating where you can drop off your gift near you. The Youth Service Bureau will then wrap the gifts at a gift wrapping party, and then they'll make sure that the presents get to your sponsored kid. It's real easy to do. I sponsor kids every year. You can do the same. It is the 2013 Christmas Crusade for Kids, now through December 18th, with Magnum Broadcasting and the the Center County Youth Service Bureau. If you'd like to make a monetary donation, you can do so at the following address: Magnum Broadcasting, P.O. Box 436, State College, PA 16804. That's Magnum Broadcasting, P.O. Box 436, State College, PA. Zip code is 16804. Make sure to make your check or money order out to the Center County Youth Service Bureau. With your help, we can put smiles on a lot of kids' faces this holiday season in the Center region. Isn't that right, kiddo? All right. So do your part. Help out with the 2013 Christmas Crusade for Kids. Anything you want to add?
Thanks for your support and Merry Christmas.
Great interview. Great guy.
Absolutely.
Dominic Mazzata. Looking forward to seeing him at Gladiators of the Cage, North Shore's Rise to Power 3, Stage AE, this Saturday, December 7th.
Whenever Gladiators of the Cage puts together a main event, it always makes sense.
Yeah.
And this one certainly does as well. A fight like Mazzata had with Jaeger, his fights before, this kid is main event material. He's also so entertaining, though, that, I mean, he's one of those fighters you love to watch because you have no idea what's going to come out of his mouth, or
Right.
what he's going to say, or how he's going to end a fight, and that's what makes for great MMA.
Right. His stories are really, really good.
Oh,
I mean, it's just
absolutely.
the stories he tells just about growing up and stuff like that. Just fantastic stuff. All right. Well, we are looking forward to seeing Dominic and all the rest of the Brett Schoenfeld, Chris Dempsey, Courtney Kern, the debut of Melissa Gastick. Can't wait to see her. And
Shane Valco.
Shane Valco, Zach Goebel, Sean Asher. You name it, they're going to be there at Gladiators of the Cage. The North Shore's Rise to Power 3. They got so many titles for their events, it's hard to keep track of them all. But
If Albert Cameron's opinion means anything, which a lot of times it doesn't, I mean, it depends on who it is. But
Yeah.
if my opinion means anything, I look at this fight card and I get very, very excited because, one, Mazzata is in the main event. Chris Dempsey is just an exciting fighter to watch. It's rare to see a fighter who is willing to take a fight to the distance consistently and still be an exciting fighter. Chris Dempsey has that.
Right.
I've seen Shane Valco fight. He's an exciting fighter. Courtney Kern. There's just so many reasons for you to get online and get your tickets from Gladiators of the Cage and be at Stage AE. I know we're going to be there, and I can't imagine anywhere else I'd want to be on December 7th.
you and I will be there. Mike Kessler will be there providing a behind-the-scenes look at Stage AE and so much more in our next, and that'll be the next episode, correct, of Cage Nation TV? Will be that'll be the wrap-up, I guess you would say?
Recap?
The recap of Gladiators of the Cage, North Shore's Rise to Power 3. And you bet your ass we're going to get ourselves some Permane brothers before the fight, right? And I'm hoping for after the fight as well. We'll see how the night goes.
That's just greedy.
No.
Getting Permanis once is enough.
Dude, I will... Permane's, I'll eat at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I don't care.
Well, then, the last time I was there, the one on the strip, I mean, the waitress told us how to take one home, too. You just disassemble it, and then you put it together at home. That's how you take a Permanis cheeseburger home.
You know what? I'll just eat it there.
Fair enough. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am your elected official, Albert Cameron. This is the Prime Minister of the Golden Voice, Drew Shannon.
Thanks once again to 1059 Quick Rock, my workplace, Michael and Diana Stapleford for giving us permission to film in the studio. Please remember once again the Christmas Crusade for Kids. Log on to our website, 1059qwikrock.com. Check out our Facebook page and be listening Monday through Friday through December 18th for your chance to help a kid have a brighter Christmas. The kids that are helped out by the Center County Youth Service Bureau, we'll throw an address to where you can send a monetary donation if you're in the Pittsburgh area watching this. And I'm talking to you guys out there, Gladiators of the Cage. If you guys out there, your fans, want to donate to help out some kids in need here in Center County, we'll throw up the address on the screen and you can send a monetary donation. Check our money order. Please make it out to the Center County Youth Service Bureau. It's a charity that Albert and I are very, very fond of. It's one that I am actively involved in for 5 hours a day, Monday through Friday, as long as we do it. Please help out the kids of Center County, of the Center County Youth Service Bureau, and put a smile on their face this holiday season. I'm losing my voice, so we got to wrap up. I'm Drew Shannon. He's Albert Cameron. We'll see you at Gladiators of the Cage, the North Shore's Rise to Power 3, Stage AE, December 7th. Be there. We'll see you.